Hello and welcome to the StrangePlay podcast. I'm Rik.
I'm Simon.
This is episode 3. It's quite a short episode today. Simon came to me with an idea that he had for a game. He wanted to talk about it with me. Had absolutely no idea what he was going to do. He did warn me that it was going to be quite
risque.
Yeah, but it's not as bad as I thought it was. And he asked me to come up with a game idea or share an idea that I had for a game. So
we were completely in the dark to what each other's game was, so it's just as surprising for us to hear what we had on each other's minds. Like, everything's like new to us.
But we don't want to tell you too much. We want you to hear it for yourselves. So sit back, relax, and we hope you enjoy it. I've got to be honest. I'm nervous about what this game is because you're like, oh, it's so fucked up, and I'll never make it. And I'm like, is this something that is this something that we're going to be able to actually put out on air for people? Or is this going to be like a hidden episode?
Just preface it with, this has got some incredibly dark shit in it. Right, okay. So, Rik's let me go first, which is extremely brave of him, because like Peter Molyneux and Sean Murray are going to be sat home going, damn, this guy's good. This guy's really, really good.
Yeah, like so, I'm just morbidly curious because
I've let him into little bits of it and warned him that it's really, really sick, and he's like, oh, there's rape games and like what was that other one that he said? That were like a guy just were going out and killing people just for the sake of killing people. Yeah. Hatred, that's it, yeah. But yeah, anyway, on with it. The year is 1619. The Isle of Holmes, situated just off the eastern coast of the British colonies, is thriving. William Holmes, along with his trusty advisor and second-in-command, Silas Noble, has settled the rocky island and become one of the leading towns in the New World.
So you've given your characters names and shit?
Yeah, totally.
You're already in front of me, man.
But all is not what it seems. Unbeknown to William, Silas is jealous of William for taking all the credit for what he considers his hard work, and has a plan to frame William for embezzlement of Holmes Island taxes and claim leadership of the island for himself, while Holmes himself suffers the punishment, which is death by hanging.
What a bastard.
Yeah. After years of scheming and planning, the details of the embezzlement are revealed and the populace of Holmes go on a witch hunt. William is dragged through the streets despite pleading his innocence and sentenced without trial. As he stands in the gallows, he finally turns on the baying crowd thirsty for his blood. William finally cracks and loses his temper. Listen here, citizens of Holmes. If it wasn't for me, you people would have nothing. Nothing. I came to this rock and I made it happen. All of these things you see before you were put in place by me. There wouldn't be a Holmes without me. You're insolent to think anyone else would have done this well. And I'll tell you this. I gave you Holmes and I'll take it away. You can bank on the words of Mr. William Holmes. I will be back. I will have my revenge on every single one of you. The crowd roared and jeered, chanting for the rope to tighten round their once admired mayor's neck. The trapdoor opened and gave them their wishes. Silas Noble took the helm and ordered his former boss to be unceremoniously dumped in an unmarked pauper's grave. Holmes was his island now, and nothing could stop him from doing what he wanted.
Fucking hell, man. I didn't realise this was Jack and Ori.
It's got a lot to go, yeah. It's 2019. Noble Island is a sleepy, unassuming island just off the east coast of the USA. It has all the trappings of American life with everything you'd expect that goes with it.
Oh, this is the same island?
Yep, it's the same island.
How far in the future is it? I forgot what you said at the beginning.
It starts at 1619.
Oh, so it's like 300 years and 400 years in the future.
It's currently 2019. Noble Island, so Silas Noble's taking it over.
What a bastard.
And named it after himself, is a sleepy, unassuming island just off the east coast of the USA. It has all the trappings of American life with everything you'd expect that goes with it. One day, while excavating a field to be used for new buildings, a skeleton of an unknown man was dug up. Site workers noted that an unsettling presence was felt. Little did they know William had just been freed and he was about to cause more trouble than anyone had anticipated.
I feel like I should go and turn the lights off.
You won't be sleeping tonight. Noble Island has a population of roughly 500,000 people. Each and every one of them has a job and a function within society. People will go to work, go out and have fun, and generally...
This is sounding well too far-fetched. All those people with a job, fuck off.
They do exist.
Alright.
Just let me carry on. People go to work, go out, have fun, and generally act how you would expect them to when you expose them to stimulus. Your job as the ghost of William Holmes is to possess a random citizen and use them to disrupt and destroy as much of Noble Island before being caught. The game is won when you've whittled down the population to 5,000 or less, which is the population of what the Isle of Holmes was when it was led by William. Stick it to Silas Noble and the descendants of the people that unfairly sentenced you to death for a crime you didn't commit.
This sounds like Super Mario Odyssey. Throw your ghost hat on, peasants.
Well, yeah, actually, I didn't really notice that, but yeah, that is a fair comment, right? This is when William possesses a citizen, you have no idea what you're going to get. So basically, when you start the game, it picks a citizen at random.
Okay.
Here are some examples of what you can expect to happen. So you can go in and it'll go, okay, this is the random citizen you're going to get, and you could possess an old lady, right? She has unlimited free time. She's retired, right? And you have to cause as much inconspicuous chaos as you can as this old lady. So this old person, what can she do? And she could drive around dangerously and try and gridlock the roads. So, like, emergency services couldn't get to, like, where they're going, and just generally be a dick. But eventually, the game is going to go, okay, you're driving dangerously, and take your license off you, so you can't drive.
So it's like a spooky Beatles about.
Right. You've not got to it yet. It says, you could bake cakes for a local fair and poison people, and see how far you could get with that. Don't forget, you have to remove as many people as you can, cause as much damage. That includes killing or, like, making people move away or whatever. Just getting rid of them by fair means of foul.
It's like Casper the Friendly Hitman.
Basically, yeah. It says, or you could take the more hands-on approach and start causing people in the old people's home to start having accidents. It's open to how far you want to go and how creative you want to be. You could spawn as a child. This is harder, since if you skip school, you're going to put yourself in the firing line. But what can a small kid do to down an entire town? You could steal and damage property, which will lower the value of the land and make people leave. Or you could start fires and see how much of the town you can burn down before getting caught. Want to free yourself from the shackles of education so you can go on a path of destruction?
Kill your teacher.
Close the school down, flood it, burn it, make the teachers unable to run the school by terrorising their homes. Totally open. Do as you feel would be best to achieve your goal.
Can you jump between people, though, or are you stuck with the person that you start with until they get caught?
It depends on the game mode. That's later on, and it'll go into it. It says, you can spawn as a delivery driver. You have a job that allows you to be in any place at any time, and you can use that to start murdering people. Get proficient enough with it, and you may even inspire copycats. That might sound cool, but remember, you might be the next mark on their list. So
I like that.
So
I like that idea.
So yeah, you can essentially make copycats, and so it's basically because of the system of how the policing works. They're trying to figure out if the copycat is the real killer or what. So you can sort of do some murders, start a copycat off, and then go, okay, right, I'm going to start doing fires now. Right? So the copycat is taking the flak for your murders while you're off Joe being an arsonist.
But the copycat could kill you.
Yeah, he could copycat. He could copy kill you. right?
That's actually a really cool mechanic. That's a cool idea.
So you have to be careful what you do, because you might wake up one day and be like, oh well, fuck, I'm dead. Like, Joe, someone's got to me.
I mean, you're a ghost. You probably think that every day when you wake up.
The residents of Noble Island react accordingly. The police will try to make a fit for who is doing the crimes and put out information that makes your job harder to carry out if you start being predictable. FBI will be called in from the mainland should things escalate higher than the local constabulary can cope with, and curfews may even be put in place to prevent you from moving freely at night to do your biddings. Causing civil unrest could be one of your goals. Anything that causes conflict, knocks value from the land or buildings thereon, and causes people to leave Noble is your endgame. You could spawn in as one of the island's tycoons and start buying and bulldozing the main high street if you want. Nothing is impossible. Just remember, the more outlandish and brazen the action, the more you open yourself to being caught. So,
what if you start off as a chipmunk?
No, you don't start off as animals, just people.
Well, this game's shit.
It says, it's completely up to you how you try to bring down Noble Island. You can cripple it slowly but surely by giving it a death by a million paper cuts. You could snowball a series of events leading to the exodus of the population. You could even go for the long game, become an eco-terrorist and poison the town's water supply. So you could phone bomb threats in. You could do anything. Right. This is game modes. The most hardcore mode allows one random possession. It's unlikely that you're going to ruin Noble Island with just one life, especially as being caught or killed is easily done. Destroy your way up the leaderboards. So essentially, it's like you get one go at it. It's totally random, and that's it. You know, you've got a leaderboard, and depending on how much damage and population diminishing you can do, is like that's your high score. It says scenario mode. Pick one possession from a selection of society. For instance, you could pick a homeless person over and over again to try different things to see what the fallout is. So instead of picking a random person, the game has like scenarios where you pick a homeless person, or you pick a soccer mom, or you pick someone who's like, you know, like a street ruffian or whatever, and you see what you can do with that one character.
Yeah.
Right, normal mode. You get 3 possessions that run consecutively. For example, your game plan might be to kill off as many firemen and doctors as you can. Then in the next life, if you get caught, start setting things on fire. Because there's going to be no firemen and doctors to deal with stuff.
Right.
It's just, it's going to have a knock-on effect. So
this, like, these 3 consecutive possessions, is that like lives basically? But each life is a different character that you're playing.
It's a different
like
random
different
person. Yeah.
Okay.
Right, infinity mode. Unlimited possessions. Play until Noble Island is ruined or until you've had enough. Right. Pacifist mode. Ruin Noble Island without killing anyone with your direct actions. It is possible. Think outside the box.
That should be a trophy instead of a game mode.
Oh, we've got trophies and achievements at end, so...
Okay, of course we can.
Noble Devout mode. Try to prevent the game from ruining Noble Island. Piece the evidence together and narrow down who the trouble causer is. Be careful who you point the finger at. You only have 3 chances before either William or the citizens of Noble turn against you.
Wait, so you can play a detective as well?
Yeah, you can play on the other side. So you can play what the game's doing instead of the murderer. Right, this is the map of Noble Island is roughly 100 square miles of coastal Americana. It consists of inner city areas containing all classes of citizens, rural areas such as farms and woods, industrial areas, ports, army bases, highways and railways, beaches, hills, mountains and mines. All the amenities are present. Power, water and gas all have plants, as well as more civic-based things like parks, schools and libraries. Basically, if it exists in real life, it's on Noble Island and it is fully functional and works how it should, given its place in the infrastructure of the town. Everything is connected and relies on each other to operate. In addition to a day-night cycle, there's also a week cycle and a season cycle. Weather alters the way the island acts, which can both be beneficial and detrimental depending on how you look at it. Events pepper the calendar and can make for opportunities to damage Noble Island, as well as scupper your best laid plans should worlds collide. Keep an eye out on the future and plan ahead for every outcome. So basically, you could say, like, you want to assassinate someone and there's a carnival on. You could use the carnival to mask your getaway. Or it could scupper you. Like, Joe, 'cause there's more police on streets. They could be like, oh, that guy's, or that woman's, Joe, done a crime. And, you know, you basically, you have to play to the game's strengths. It says, graphically, it is realistically modelled with a hint of caricature people. The game's slightly cel-shaded, but not to the point of looking completely like a comic. Nice primary colours offset the dark nature of the game, where tragic events are hilariously animated in a slapstick manner. You might be doing the world's most horrendous crimes, spurned on by the world's most scorned spectre, but they're always going to be more tongue-in-cheek than graphically offensive.
So it looks a bit like Bioshock Infinite.
I think more Borderlands, but not quite as cartoony. This is, not to take away the abhorrent acts that are possible in the game, but they are presented in a daft way. The game is inspired by a lot of genres, in some cases turning them on their heads. The main one is SimCity, except instead of building a city, you're ruining one. The whole being bad aspect stems from 99% of games having you play as some goody two-shoes, doing things for the greater good. When you see actors talking about parts they've done, they always seem to agree on playing the bad guy parts are most fun. Since none of us have the capability to be actors, and doing crimes will result in people getting hurt and us doing time, something which doesn't fly for most people, just wanting to play something a bit out of the ordinary. The part where you take on control of a character that has some semblance of regime was inspired by Bully. I don't know if you played Bully.
No.
You basically, it's like
Grand Theft Auto in a school.
Yeah, but it's you can go do stuff, like it's not just...
Yeah.
It's specifically the free roam parts of the game where you are sort of free to do what you want as long as you attend classes. Of course, you are not totally locked into this. In this particular game, you can either do the things you're meant to do or not. If you want to do them and lose part of your day, you can. So if you just want to, you know, like sort of go autopilot and go do your job or whatever, you don't need to sit through and do a job. You can do it if you want, but it's not mandatory.
So you don't have to be a naughty ghost. You can be a naughty ghost pretending to be Steve, the postman.
Yeah, you could be a postman if you want and just deliver letters. You can set the agenda of where you take control of your player and automate the rest. Deadly Premonition also factors into how I imagine Noble Island to operate. People have schedules and shops open and close. Traffic ebbs and flows as time passes. The seas go in and out as time passes. A board game was the inspiration for the whole, or rather the complete opposite. In Cluedo, you work out who has committed the crime, whereas here you're on the other side, unless you're playing the mode specifically trying to find out who is causing trouble. Try to outsmart the game as it adapts to your whims, keeps it from getting stale, and makes it harder and harder to be a one-trick pony. So if you try and do the same thing over and over again, the game's going to learn and it's going to tighten the noose on you. Tokyo Jungle was the inspiration for parts of the game. Things like preying on weaker targets and avoiding people in authority or other NPCs capable of messing up your goal was a factor.
No fucking animals in it though, is there?
There is, but they're not.
You can't be an animal. You can't run around as a Pomeranian doing murders.
Yeah, but how cool would that be?
Exactly. That's Game of the Year material. You fuck yourself.
The Hitman games are where I drew the planning out and executing elaborate missions that involve being creative. It's possible to make things look like accidents without raising suspicion. Finally, open world games where you're given a set of rules and tools to go have fun were my final draw. There's so many of these that it'd be pointless listing them. You know which ones I'm talking about. So, yeah, there's like a million of them.
Yeah.
And because it's an open world game, basically what I've done is people sort of get lost when stuff's open world. And I think having achievements there is like, oh, this is possible. You don't have to do it, but this is possible. So I've got a couple of, about 20 achievements.
Fucking hell.
McLovin lives. Use a fake ID to do something illegal. So if you're a kid, you could go buy a drink or buy fireworks or something like that.
Excellent.
Collateral damage. Kill a pig at the same time as killing a citizen of Noble Island. The mints for afterwards. Cause a petrol shortage. Right. Dumpster fire. Burn down the offices of a well-known game publisher. Infernal Nocturnal. Break curfew and commit a crime. It's just a prank, bro. Trick someone into killing themselves. Right. Marcus's business partner. Cause a bullet shortage. The Sasquatch. Kill a citizen with your bare hands in the woods. What's that smell? A mass grave under a house you live in. Build a blender. Disguise yourself as a citizen people would want to avoid, so you could disguise yourself as a bum or someone with a clipboard.
Like a homeless person or some shit. A charity beggar.
Yeah, that's it. A chugger. It says, shooting stars. Kill any of the celebrity citizens of Noble Island. Prepper's delight. Cause a state of emergency. Twinned with Flint. Tamper with the water supply. No gods or kings. Either kill or depose all religious figures and politicians from Noble Island. So it's just basically, it just devolves into chaos because there's no one running anything. It says, wait for it all to blow over. While being searched for, go to the bar and wait out the search time.
Brilliant. Love that one.
Most wanted. Incite the FBI to investigate Noble Island. Local celebrity. Witness news reports on TV that were talking about your actions. Trendsetter. Inspire copycat attacks based on your actions. Chaotic good. Kill someone who is breaking a severe law. Yellowjack. Cause a quarantine. Right. Misunderstood club. Head a cult.
You should call that one Drink the Kool-Aid.
Yeah. And the final one, Zodiac Thriller. In sequential order, kill your way through each and every one of the zodiac signs. So if you start with like Leo, the next kill has to be Virgo. If you start with Virgo, like it has to be Libra and then Scorpio. And the thing with that achievement or trophy is, right, eventually police are going to cotton on and they're going to be like, shit, so people that have, like, you know, the next in line for being killed,
they're going to be like put in to safety and shit.
Yeah. So it's gradually going to get harder and harder and harder as you go through it.
That's a really cool idea. I like that one.
Yeah, that's it. Any questions?
I've got to be honest, man. Like, I know it's a murder simulator essentially, but it's not half as bad as I was expecting it to be. I was half expecting it to be like, yeah, and you like run up to grannies and you just like skull fucking a granny until you get a platinum trophy, and it's like
no. I think that it is possible if you really want to. You could go to a school and shoot it up, but you will die. You won't get very far. And stuff like you could plan a bombing, like a terror, like a big terror attack. So, like, you could, like the Boston bombing, you could do that. But the thing is, to plan it, the police are going to be looking for stuff like that. So you risk the chance of Joe being caught.
Yeah. Okay, I have a question.
Go.
How does being caught work? Because you're a ghost.
So, being caught, you basically get detached from the person that you are possessed.
But why can't you repossess somebody else?
If they get killed, well, you can. It depends on the game mode. So if you've got like infinite repossessions, if you get arrested or you get killed, William sort of like floats out of them and just goes when the new day starts. You wake up as someone else, essentially, a bit like Quantum Leap. Yeah. So yeah, that's the fail states. If you get caught, if you get arrested, or if you get killed, then it's basically game over for that specific character that you are, fighting as or playing as.
What you could do as well is if like someone's acting weird and is causing suspicion, then you could start getting like paranormal investigators involved. Like the FBI could come in like paranormal investigators, like a fucking like an X-Files type thing, or like a priest can perform an exorcism on the person that you're possessing, and then that'll send you back to hell. So that's like fucking game over, end of. That'd be a really good end game state.
Yeah, I was thinking about, like, you have these games, these open world games that have collectibles, and I was thinking of having, like, notes written by Silas that are all over the island, and it's basically he's gone mad, like, and he goes powered mad.
Silas is the guy that nicked the island off you.
Yeah, Silas Noble is the guy that took the island from William Holmes.
Yeah.
And like, eventually, if you collect all the things, and there's like a little bit of an Easter egg, like in Grand Theft Auto 5 currently, there's a thing where there's like UFOs and stuff. If you work out like puzzles and stuff, like Easter eggs, and you can confront him face to face. Like there's like loads of secrets and stuff like that where you can physically. But yeah, that's my idea anyway. You like it?
I like that. Yeah, I like that. I think the only reason that no one would make it was because of how difficult it would be to make. Yeah.
Well, I said at the start, like, Peter Molyneux and Sean Murray are like, oh my god, this guy's amazing. He knows what he's talking about, But
yeah, but chances are that if either of them ever listen to this, someone's going to nick it and do it badly.
Well, they can have it for free.
Peter Molyneux will change it to like, so basically instead of a town, it's a cube that you touch.
Yeah.
But then the town's in the middle of it, and it looks like shit.
I think the only thing that I wouldn't have, if I were to make it, if someone were to say, okay, come on, Joe, direct this, I wouldn't have, like, racial crimes.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he just hates everyone equally, does William. He's not going to be bothered about that. Or Joe, like, sexist crimes.
Yeah.
And also, he's not going to be into, like, fucking rapes or like that. Because he's a fucking spurned ghost. He's not a fucking horny fucking wraith. He's not there to fucking have sex and get his rocks off. He's there to fucking kill people.
It's not the ghost of Jimmy Savile.
Yeah. He's not jingle jangling his way across fucking Noble Island. He just wants to get people off his fucking turf, and he's willing to do it.
Yeah.
Through various means, but no raping or any of that. No, thank you. So, what's your thing? I'm really looking forward to this.
Okay, so mine isn't as well thought out as yours. Mine's just an idea that's been kicking around my head for a few years now. And strangely, at E3 this year, I saw a game that looks very similar to my game. So I'm like, I'm really fucking happy. Now, basically, I'm a huge Zelda fan. And I really like the two-dimensional top-down adventure games.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, there isn't many of those anymore. But I like the idea of roguelikes as well. But I'm not a big fan of like the side-scrolling action games. Like I like Castlevania and stuff, but I don't like 2D side-scrolling. And I'm like
platformers.
Yeah, and I'm like it's overdone. Like everyone's doing it. But imagine like a 2D top-down adventure game, but roguelike. And basically the idea is you have a town and you have your person. And you're from like a long line of heroes, basically.
Right.
And then so you got your town, you got the world, and then you got the bad guy in the castle doing bad shit. And you've got to go and stop the bad dude. But because it's a roguelike, you're the first cause it's the beginning of the line of like the lineage of heroes. So you can only get so far before you die.
Right. So yeah, you basically set to fail.
Yeah, so you can only get so far. I mean, you can go as far as you can try, but ultimately you're going to fucking die. But years later, your son or your daughter or something, you can keep going back to the village. It's a little bit Harvest Moonish. And you can meet someone, romance them, la 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 la. And if you die, one of your children takes over like years later. But the world around you changes. Basically, so if you die and the bad guy's, still like getting closer, like if the Legion's getting closer,
right,
then a town that you visited in one adventure could be gone.
It could have raised it.
Yeah.
Or it could be all evil and shit, like a fortress.
So it could be burnt down, or it could be gone, or there could be like a boss living there or something.
Nice.
But then when you go through it again, like if let's say there's a boss in it, like one of the bad dude's generals in there, and you take him out, and then get a bit further on and die, and then your kid takes over, and you go to that town, because your father or your mother saved it. It's good and it's prosperous, and there's people there, and there's
So it acts like a checkpoint.
kind of like a checkpoint, but
Yeah.
they're dotted around like everywhere. But the thing
it's pretty cool.
And the thing is as well, equipment, because like all your family heirlooms are they're gone, because you know your dad's run off with them, like the family sword and the shield and that, and then he's gone out and fucking died.
So you can find your own heirlooms.
You can find
cool.
the corpse or like the skeleton of your parent or whatever, and take the equipment. So like, as I suppose your family's genes are getting stronger,
Right.
and as you're getting new equipment and stuff, and you know you can find the stronger equipment and things, and just keep pushing and pushing and pushing, and it takes place like over generations and generations. But I just like this idea of this world that evolves.
So say like you find your like great granddad's like sword.
Yeah.
Right. Is stats like fixed on that?
Yeah.
Or is the stats like boosted by your genes? So like it might only like be a 10 attack, but when you get hold of it, it's like 25 attack just 'cause you've been working out and shit, and like you come from a line of heroes that are gradually getting better and better. Or
The stats on the weapon will be stuck, because if it's
Right.
like your great-great-granddad, the weapon's also been sat there for like hundreds of years, so the weapon's going to be a little bit weak. But it is possible to take it back to your village and give it to the blacksmith.
Right.
Blacksmith can fix it, make it better.
Nice. So the like how does it play? It plays like Zelda,
Yeah.
or it plays
Yeah.
like is it just a 2D top down?
Yeah,
or is it like
2D top down.
What was that game that came out that were on PlayStation 3 that were like top down? Do you remember that? Like Blocks one.
Oh, 3D Dot Heroes.
3D Dot Heroes, that's it, yeah.
Yeah, I never.
It sort of reminds me of that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know whether like you're graphically same or whether you're
No, I was going for like 16-bit sprites.
Yeah. So like when you're playing and you finally like you will unlock a thing, can it ever go backwards? So if you fuck up and you don't get to that island, not the island, the checkpoint town, is it like an ebb and flow?
Yeah.
Can the bad guy come back and encroach on where you've done? Yeah, that's pretty interesting. I tell you what, the loot thing sounds like. It sounds like a more developed version of touching your bloodstain in a Souls game. Do you know, like if you get to it, it's like, oh, there's some loot there if you can get that far.
Like getting back to your
getting back to your
drop
bloodstain. But instead of getting money like currency, you're getting an heirloom which potentially could, help
you're
out.
basically just getting the equipment that you had when you were playing as that character. So you're getting that equipment back, and then depending on where you die, what happens. So like if you die near a village that you save, there's a chance that your body isn't going to be there.
Right.
But if you check the tombs nearby, someone could have like made a tomb.
How cool would it be if you saved the town from like a tyranny, and when you went back as like your grandson or granddaughter, there were a big fucking statue of like your granddad there? That'd be fucking fantastic.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Yeah. Man, I'm really fucking impressed with this idea, because it's like we didn't know what either of us were going to talk about, so it's like we're being eager, to get onto it. We said that we weren't going to talk, but yeah, I'm really impressed with that. I think it could work.
Yeah,
I think it could work, and it's actually doable as well. I mean, my game, it's just not feasible.
It's almost been done, and this is what's blowing my mind. There's a game coming out that I saw briefly at E3 and thought, that looks quite cute. And it wasn't until I was looking into it. It's called Swords of Ditto.
Right.
And it sounds very similar. Like not as involved as my idea, but kind of like a more stripped down version. Which I'm like, I can't wait to play this game, because this is like the closest to like the idea that I had that I'm gonna actually ever be able to play.
There were one game that were shown at E3 that sort of had the same idea, very, very loosely, Joe. Like this, like part of it was same conceptually.
What's it to yours?
I think it was called Vampire.
Okay.
I think it was called Vampire, but it wasn't like, do it want as like focused as my idea,
not as involved,
or like the mechanic were there. I think like some of the mechanics were there, but it wasn't totally like one for one.
Yeah. So there are ideas, and we want to hear your ideas.
Yeah, we do. We'd like sincerely chuck a comment down or contact us on Facebook.
Yeah, like
one or the other.
Let us know if you'd play our games. Let us know if like how you'd improve our games as well. You know, we want to talk to you guys. We want to hear your opinions on these things. So yeah, leave us a message if you're watching this on YouTube. Just leave it in the comments. If you're watching or if you're listening on SoundCloud, I think you can do comments on SoundCloud. I'm not sure, but if not, you can visit us at facebook.com/StrangePlayUK, and you can follow us on Twitter at StrangePlayUK. And if you'd like anything to add or just come and talk to us, then you can do it there. So until next time, thank you for listening.
Thank you. Goodbye.